Nashville was occupied by the Union Army from the beginning of the war throughout the war. After Joseph died and was buried in Nashville, his son-in-law, Meyer Salzkater, and he created a fleet of false bottom wagons in Nashville and consistently would run gray caps, whiskey, and medicines and guns and knives through the Union lines to Louisville, Atlanta, and Knoxville and back, earning the equivalent today of $60,000 per run with multiple wagons, multiple times a week throughout the war. And so they accumulated an enormous fortune of money to the point that Grant issued his order number 11. Because of the smuggling activity, he said all Jews must leave Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky within one day, and they can only take with them what they can carry. And they have to give up their property and everything. Get them out of here because we can't stop them from the smuggling thing.
It sounds like he was like your whatever. The Schwabs were very catalytic for that, right?
Well, I'll get back to the provost, but 2 weeks later, Lincoln found out about it, was incensed, and rescinded the order. But in the book is a whole chapter on Schwab and Salzkater smuggling through the lines, and he said it just proved impossible to stop these guys. And they caught one of them, sent him to prison, but he came back 8 days later because he had so much money. He paid the guards up in Pennsylvania. Well, I say all this because they ran across this one distillery that seemed to have the best of the whiskey that they were running. And Manny at the time was like 16 or 17. And so after the war, they started the George Dickel Company with a bootmaker, George Dickel, who was 48 years old, had been a bootmaker throughout the war. Throughout the whole time he'd been there since 1844. And then immediately after the war, he was, lo and behold, a liquor dealer with the Schwab family. Where the money came from, where the knowledge of the whiskeys because they immediately were into French, bringing in the different stuff from France, all that got Manny interested in the business itself, of course. But he learned about this one whiskey, Cascade Hollow, in Tullahoma, which was a little tiny hamlet. The whiskey there he thought was outstanding, and he ended up buying 2/3 of the distillery.